Oh, hey there. So I want you to think about the hardest thing you've ever gone through in your life. The most difficult, the most painful, just the most emotionally draining thing that you've ever gone through in your life. And what if that thing that you hate so much, that hard thing that you went through, that difficult, painful thing that you went through, was the very thing that your biggest curse was actually your biggest blessing. Okay, so this is true all over the place. If we look at life going forward, then we look and we go, oh, this is going to be so hard. But then when we look at it in reverse, we go, if this bad thing hadn't happened, then this good thing wouldn't have happened. Or if this bad thing wouldn't have happened, then this thing wouldn't have happened, and this thing wouldn't have happened, and then this good thing wouldn't have happened. And I wouldn't be the person that I am today. When a caterpillar goes into its cocoon, it turns into mush, and then it turns into a beautiful butterfly. But when it's getting out of its cocoon, it's unfolding its wings, and it's really pathetic looking. And you look at it and you go, oh, I want to help you. Let me get a little thing and just unfurl your wings for you so that you can be happy again and be good. But if you do that, that butterfly will never fly, because that's where it's getting its strength. It's having to push blood out into its wings that then makes it strong. And it makes it strong so that it can fly, so it can be the beautiful thing that it was made to be. Now, sometimes people go, well, that's not true of this thing or that thing or whatever, but it is. Stick around a little bit longer. God's not done with you. In Romans 8:28, it says, for we know that all things work together for the good of those that love him and are called according to his purpose. All things, even the bad things. And I know that's hard to hear sometimes. I know we go, yeah, but you don't understand what I've been through. There's bad things. I know, I've been through bad things too. And yet, that is what tests us, and that is what brings out the gold. That is what gets the yuck out of our life. And we can choose to be better, or we can choose to be bitter. I'm gonna give you one example in my life, okay? So I used to own a music venue, and all I wanted to do was just open up a club and have musicians come out there and play. I wanted to be the person that influenced people that influence people. I figured my time to be a rock star is over, and I'm gonna help other people, and I want them to talk about good things. I want them to sing about good things and care about people. I want the world to be a better place because I was here. That's what I want. And I had this neighbor, and he was 1.3 miles away, and he called the cops on me 10 times a day for 4 straight years, whether I was open or not. And it was such a pain. The police were after me all the time. I was in the front page of the papers. Like, it was all over. It was bad press for me. And I was trying to do a good thing. It was no alcohol venue. I was trying to do a good thing, and it just turned into a nightmare. And I realized I had to defend myself, and the cops wouldn't let up, and they were lying, and they were being deceitful and all kinds of things. And somebody from the Fort Worth Weekly came, and they did an interview with me, and they said, hey, we want to do an interview. And I was like, okay. And I was pretty used to that. And at the end of it, I said, kind of what's your angle on this? And they said, well, the city council meeting about you tonight. And I was like, what city council meeting is that? And then he told me. I was like, well, that's the first I've heard of it. And so I showed up, and they were lying about me, and they were saying all kind of bad things. But one thing they did say was that, according to my website, we had a state-of-the-art sound and light system. And I'm like, well, everybody says they got a state-of-the-art sound system. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. But I realized they looked at my website. And so because of that, I ended up writing this article and said, does this seem right to you, is what it was called. And I just kind of defended myself and said, this is what I'm doing, and this is what's actually going on, and this is the order of things that's happened. And something like 250,000 people responded all over the world. They're like, yeah, the cities are doing the same thing to us. And then everybody said, what else are you gonna write? I'm like, I'm not gonna write anything. I'm just trying to save my business. And they're like, we want to hear what else you had to say. And I ended up writing some articles for the Harder Beat and for some other things. And over time, I ended up writing a book, and now I've just published my 7th book. And because of all those things, I also ended up getting into movies, movie production, and acting, and so on and so forth. And so what started off as one of my biggest challenges in life really ended up being the biggest blessing and the biggest catalyst to get me to where I needed to be. And so when you're going through a hard time, it's easy after the fact to look back and go, this was all for the good. But the key is to realize that that's going to happen while you're going through the bad thing. And I've trained myself to do that now. I've spent enough time. I go, I know this is going to be good somehow. I'm going to wait for it. I'm going to trust that it's going to be good. and every single time it is. And so I hope that that gives you some encouragement that whatever this bad thing is that you may be going through right now, it's just leading you up to a better place. Because in Psalm 23, it says, though I go through the valley of the shadow of death. But here's the thing, that's a real place and you're just going through it. That's not your final destination. You're going through it so that you can get to higher ground. Love you guys.